Red alert!
Yeah, it's Friday. Welcome to 4K Skywatching Podcast Live. I'm Tom King. It's April 25th, 2025. This is the 20th podcast of 4K Skywatching. This is the barely legal Skywatching podcast. In this Skywatch, we're going to talk about the ethics of Skywatching and taking it right up to the limit, to the point of where you should stop before you have all your gear confiscated by the FBI. We are in a position where we are trying to skywatch, we are trying to gather our own evidence against an unethical government that doesn't pay attention to any laws, they ignore everything that we have to abide by. So it's basically we're fighting with our hands tied behind our backs, doing the best we can. I'm Tom King and I identify as a skywatcher. That's what I am. I also identify as a ufologist. I am a ufologist. My pronouns are badass motherfucker. Those are my pronouns. Now, what I am not is a UFO influencer. There is no such thing as a UFO influencer. So I'm pouring cold water all over that fire before it even starts. There's no UFO influencers. You can't convince anybody to see UFOs unless they usually see one themselves. There's no such thing as a demon influencer, a ghost influencer, a Jesus influencer. Well, okay, maybe the guys who knock on your door, but I think you guys get the point. We always had a term for influencer. It's always been around. We called them lazy bums that wouldn't get a fucking job. And now they think, well, I can show my ass on Instagram and influence people. No, well, that doesn't work in ufology. Ufology is hard, hard work. We've been beating against this government door for 80 years, and we're trying to knock down the doors of secrecy. Last week, I did have a podcast because I literally had this lab partially open to the outside. So I put it all back together. I'm a retired construction worker. I've done everything from construction work to magic, martial arts. I like it all because I can build a house from the ground up. The only thing I don't do is electrical and plumbing. I can also build robots, AI, you name it. So I'm pretty much a jack of all trades and a master of damn near every one of them. So it's good to have some people in here. We have Truth Seeker in the audience. He was the first in. You guys um, should be able to drop your links in the chat. Let me make sure that the chat is up and running. for tonight's show because tonight is going to be a long one. We're gonna it's going to be a 2 hour show today. Easy. So let's just make sure that everything is working good, and I'll fix the chat as we go. Oh, helps if I turn it on first, right? Helps if I turn it on. So there we go. Um, yeah, and just speaking of, now you mentioned it before I forget. As long as we have the CIA, we're going to have a UFO cover up. We always are. And they're the ones responsible for it. You can't have them, the CIA and UFO and disclosure, where they're going to wheel out the bodies at the same time. They might as well just tell us which one in the agency killed JFK. Every single time there's something very, very dirty going on in this country that's ugly, the CIA is behind it every damn time. So until that agency is just basically dismantled because it's a government criminal organization where murder's legal, where bombing people's legal, blowing people into nothing is legal, vaporizing people, it's all legal. Everything they do is, well, it'd be on a list of serial killers and whatnot, but the CIA is sanctioned government state murder, and they're the ones behind the cover. So don't expect them wheeling up those Roswell discs or bodies anytime soon as long as we have CIA. Hey, Tony D, how's it going? So I was having some discussions. Oh, and also before I forget, that movie came out Tuesday that I've been telling you guys about called Observe and Report. At the end of the show, I'm going to play the trailer. That's I'm going to also play a review where I kind of got a bad review where they said, you'll see. But anyway, I was talking to some colleagues. I did a Skywatch last week, just north of the Barry Goldwater gunnery range, over off of the Centennial South rest stop area, and that's his public land. Basically, Highway 8 um, from like the Yuma area over to like Casa Grande. Everything south of there down to the Mexico border is the Barry Goldwater Air Force gunnery range. Uh, a lot of UFO stuff happens there. Some UFO stuff happens everywhere. But I went down there. I've been down there for about 20 years. It was fun to go down there. And then afterwards, I had a discussion with people about different colleagues about how far should we go with this. One of them I had today with a friend of mine. He lives basically right next door to the Goldwater Range. 2 weeks ago, a bomb went off in the range and shook the houses of everybody. It was such a powerful bomb that his wife called him and said, "Did you feel that too?" And his wife works over in Maricopa, and it's miles away, and they felt it too. So they probably thought it was an earthquake, but it could have been a mother of all bombs. That's a live training exercise area. There's some places where everything is restricted, so you can get into some trouble messing around there. You're fine where I was, except for the snakes, but you're fine legally with the military as long as you're in that area. Filming it. Now, filming it, that's where we get into the gray area. If I were to do that once or twice, no big deal. But if I set up shop and I set up cameras and whatnot there, that's another story. Let's see if we can get this right here. But I guess we're still going good. So setting up surveillance there can be tricky. Like, there's a guy who has a website about Area 51. Let me name him in a bit. He got raided, his house in Las Vegas and in Rancho by the FBI because he studies Area 51. Why did they do that? To send a message to me, and to send a message to you and everybody else. Don't you mess with this shit, because you will not have a nice retirement. You're going to spend every single penny you saved on lawyers to keep your ass out of prison. That's tonight's show. We're going to talk about the line where you can go right up to it and get into some murky gray areas, and that's kind of line I kind of operate in sometimes. So I was talking to my friend, and he was saying, so um, let's go to a few things I want to show you before we get too deep in here. Uh, let's go down. For anybody new here, I have a UFO lab that's expanding constantly. I typically say on the show that I'm done buying gear. Don't believe that. There's gear coming in about 15 minutes. As soon as it comes through, I'll unwrap it and show you that. I like to think I'm done buying gear psychologically, but then a gearaholic always says, "Oh, I'll quit next week. This is my last one." But then I end up getting something else. So I have a pretty good amount of gear here. We have the NVR up and running. Uh, I disconnected the Pelco pad and tilt from the thermals because I spilled coffee on my desk yesterday and scratched the hell out of it. So that is going under a little bit of remodeling. Um, One of the Cosmic Watch is always up and running. We have UFODAP up and running, and I have so much gear, I just don't have time to look at all of it. So UFODAP is recording path tracks, and it's waiting for things to fly by it there. And we have the radar stuff that is coming. That is still coming. And I have an antenna outside now. So this is AirSpy. AirSpy is free software. This is what's used on Skinwalker Ranch to monitor RF signals. So you can go and Google, or nobody uses that anymore. Use ChatGPT for the address of AirSpy, and you can download the software. It's an SDR, software-defined radio. I have a Hacker RF1 hooked up to it. Um, and I found out there's a command you can use, whether you have Mac or you have Windows, that you can put in. If you have Windows, you can put a command into PowerShell, and it'll monitor the 1.6 gig. And if anything were to happen, it'll save it in a CVS file. I'm not an expert on all this stuff. Hey, how you doing, Clive? Yeah, Clive's movies out. So, but anyway, when I learn stuff, I pass it on. We do have an expert. He's on Twitter. I think his name is Justin. He monitors all this stuff with AI, looking for very, um, very weird things. So let's move on to the show. So we're going to get into tonight uh, a number of things. We're going to get into barely legal skywatching first. We're going to get into some Tic Tac, new Tic Tac stuff, and a bunch of different UFO news is on. There's a new clip of the military chasing a yellow orb. Uh, Now, I've seen that thing. I've told, not that yellow one. Hey, Tony, how's it going? Uh, I got to make you a moderator, or otherwise you won't be able to drop links. So I'll get that taken care of soon, Mister Boom Tube. So what? Let me wait till I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. So let me get into that here in a second. So I had to do a clean install of OBS because I did not. Oh, another thing. I said I was out of Ted Loman shows. Uh, I kind of lied about that. I got another one, but it's really bad. It's really that's why I posted it, man. It's really bad. I had to put a seizure warning in front of it. So yeah,
Similar to
this
what
thing
Tim has done. Now,
it's
the
washed
other
out.
thing is
white out.
The audio's out of
Look
sync.
off to the right. It
Um,
What's the next one?
I don't
they
even know if
hover,
I'm going to
they can
post this.
disappear, they
This
can take
was
off and shoot across the sky
this
as
was in
well.
Jason,
1996.
when you
Little
So
lights inside them like we're getting on
yeah,
video.
exactly like Tim
that's
Edwards
another
shot
Ted
these.
Loman show that I was working on. So I'm not sure if I'm going to go ahead and get into that, but let me get into where we're going to go tonight. So we have a lot of air traffic flying around on flight control. Now, the most obvious place that's going to get you into trouble is right here. It's Area 51. Now, they have a lot of, back when I used to go there, when I used to go there back in the 90s, now I've been there three times, not in the base, obviously, but up next to it. Now, the camo dudes that are there, at least at the time, were whacking hut security. And they would look at you with binoculars and wasn't sure what they were doing. My colleague Bill Hamilton told me what happens when they go there is they're looking for your license plate number, and they write that down, and then they call it into the base computer at Area 51. That's fine, it's fine. But if they call your license plate number and it's already in there, you're a repeat visitor. So if you're a repeat visitor, what I was told from Bill is the FBI taps your phone for 6 months, and basically they want to see what kind of American are you. Kind of like in that movie Civil War, you're an American. What kind of American? Are you a good one? Are you a bad one? So that's I. After I heard that, I quit visiting Area 51. But Area 51 is the place where you can get into deep trouble. Um, but you can monitor this place from Tikaboo Peak, which is about 26 miles away. And you can go there. You could take, people have brought the P1000 camera and they can zoom in. You get a lot of thermal aberrations from looking over the desert heat with the heat off the highway type of effect. Uh, so you're really not going to get a lot. So the conversation I was having with a colleague of mine is, if you kick that beehive, expect the bees to attack. And when he told me I shouldn't do it, then I said, you know what, I should do it. I probably, if he's going to say no, you know what I mean? People want what they can't have. If you say no, then you want it. But at the same time, I'm looking at reports. Okay, another place that we can look at here, and I'm looking at reports from Arizona from the FAA. Here's Luke Air Force Base, right? So I have the means to put these places under 24-hour surveillance. In the past, what it took was it took a state-of-the-art technology. You're going to need um, Starlink for internet. You're going to need a camera. You're going to need a battery. You're going to need solar power. And you're going to need a unit that's waterproofed and snowproofed and all weatherproof to deploy these and to set and forget and to remotely monitor them. Things have changed. You don't need all that stuff anymore. Uh, Ron Olds with UFODAP and the people who use UFODAP can see that he has systems like this that you can buy and put together from his website. Now you can go to Amazon and click the cart, and here you go. You're ready. And that's what is coming in the door here pretty soon. Is I'm experimenting with the first camera system, which is going to be basically trail cam, high tech trail camera. So they have basically just taken a phone, and now you have 4G, and all you need is a solar panel, and you basically got a remote skywatching system that you can put anywhere. Now think about that. All of us watching, I thought, we need to put a skywatching station on the Catalina Islands to look for UFOs coming and going, and the Guadalupe Islands too. But you got to go over there. You got to get all that stuff I mentioned. Now you can go to Amazon and you can hit add to cart. There's all kinds of rules that come with using all this stuff, and I encourage people to look them up and to not just go guerrilla skywatch and abide by the laws so you don't get in trouble. Now, where we get into the murky stuff here is what we're looking at here is this is Luke Air Force Base, okay, and they have all their jets and their F-35s and whatnot, uh, hidden from satellite view. And look at all these my boss lives over here. Look at all these houses that live around it. So these nice golf course houses here could easily set up a ring camera, and they could see when the planes come and go because UFOs apparently mess with this base. And then not only that, then we have Davis Moffett Air Force Base too. So here we have Tucson. So we got Tucson, and then here's the gray area. Now, look at all these houses. There could be a Tom King down. Well, there's lots of Tom Kings. There's another Tom King that actually wrote a UFO book, and that's not me. So they must have just cloned us like cookies. Tom King, this guy, Tom King, that guy. But somewhere down here's a Tom King, and he might have cameras, and he could be watching this base. And one guy, they can, arrest him or whatever, and say, "Hey, we got you under the 1917 Foreign Intelligence Act." There's laws that are top secret; they're not even on the books, and arrest you for messing with us at the time of war. So that's the gray area here. These are our nation's national security assets. I just went through a few of them here in the Southwest. Um, Area 51, the Barry Goldwater Gunnery Range, Luke Air Force Base, Davis Monthan Air Force Base, the Boneyard. But these are where a lot of UFOs are reported. So you want to go where the UFOs are. But the problem is you're going to get into deep shit. I mean, if they're not already watching me, they're going to be. So if you're going to attempt to do something like that, you don't put it on 4K Skywatching and say, "Here's Area 51 live on Friday night." Well, they're going to come shut that shit down mighty quick. But the problem I have is these are our nation's assets. This gunnery range is, I think, as big as Connecticut or bigger. We need these places, and we need these places for our best people to train and to train without people messing with them. So what do we do here? I mean, even let's look at our nuclear weapons storage area up in Washington. There's no nuclear weapons I know of that are stored here, but up around Washington, and over on the East Coast, they're well known. They're well known where they have even the New Jersey area. There's nukes there. So, do you want to spy on that too? You could say you're looking for UFOs, but it depends on how far and how hardcore you do it. Because they would take a person, they're probably not going to get you guys out there if you were to do this, but they would take me and make an example out of me to scare the fuck out of the rest of you. So, our country does deserve to have these and for us to train. But at the same time, there's UFOs there. And at the same time, if they have, let's say, UFOs, and apparently we've recovered so many of them, we might have hundreds of UFOs in different parts and pieces. What are the ethics here that we are trying to crumble down this cover up, but at the same time we must be civil and we must abide by decorum? But they don't. They don't abide by no decorum when they kick your guns at your house and at 3 o'clock in the morning with MRAPs outside your house so your neighbors see that shit. They don't abide by any laws because the whole cover up and everything is illegal to begin with. So can't really fight fire with fire. I don't really have the answers here. What I do know is I'm going to start merging into even more stuff. So I have a trail camera coming in here. And the first place that I'm probably going to put it's going to be the Superstition Mountains. Now, we're at land of the free and whatnot, but yeah, hit all those notifications, Eric. Maybe you'll get them. Sorry about that. But we're land of the free where everything's illegal. Everything, hunt and fish and this and that and that and this. It's irritating, but I get it. We can't just we're a nation of laws. We have to have stuff so shit doesn't go to hell. I mean, most laws and safety laws and OSHA laws, they're all written in other people's blood. Somebody died and they wrote a law. So if you are going to use stuff like trail cameras and whatnot, and the whole Sasquatch community, they got probably 500 of these things all over Portland and Seattle looking for Squatch, right? So we can do that too. But just be responsible for look up on ChatGPT or wherever if you're going to deploy systems like this. Because what this does is this empowers you guys, wherever you are, that you can now skywatch too at some of the best hotspots. So let's say I'm originally from South Dakota before I escaped that frozen wasteland and moved here. So let's say I'm still stuck there, and somehow I mustered up $100, which is hard in South Dakota, to buy one of these cameras. Now I'm going to take a trip down to Sedona, and I'm going to put one of these somewhere, and then now I got a Skywatch station in Sedona for $100, and you get what you pay for. You know, the better systems, the more expensive, the better brand you're going to get. But with this type of stuff, and you're probably going to pay 10, $20 a month for your mobile fees to have it streamed to you. So where I'm going to go is I'm going to kind of I guess industrialize this to a degree. I'm going to get this system, and then but they stream to your phone. Well, I don't want to stream to the phone because I got to use it to call people. So I'm going to have the stream hopefully to an app or something that's going to go on one of these many Alienware sitting around the house, and it's going to have it, and then it's going to be use OBS as an NVR system to automatically record. And I can probably hook up this thing to UFODAP if I'm really clever. So the deal is to turn these trail cameras into like a permanent skywatching system. So I'm going to put one up first in the superstition areas, and we're going to watch it here, maybe in a few weeks, before when I get this up and running. Then I'm going to move it around different areas. If I was stupid enough to put it on Area 51, I wouldn't tell anybody. I'm not going to put it at the gunnery range because I think they should, they should skywatch in peace without me messing with them. I have UFOs right over here, right over Chandler, or I can go up to Chris's place. He's got that He's got that little witch, Escape from Witch Mountain with orbs and all kinds of funny shit. Every time we have a skywatch there, we see stuff. And another thing I was talking about with some colleagues is we're going to war with too much equipment. I think I might go back to high 8. I might go back to tape. We show up with Clive Christopher's got 6K cameras, and we show up with guns ablazing with all these cameras and shit. They ain't showing up. These things aren't stupid. I mean, if they're a million years in front of us, we expect some million years in front of us intelligence. But you show up and you handicap yourself a little bit by not having so much stuff. Like I turn the pan and tilt control off the thermal. So if something goes by, I can't pan with it. I mean, that's kind of hinting them on. So skywatching, there's a hit. So skywatching does have a gray area where you have to be careful how high profile you get with this, and how hard you go after it, because you don't want the feds to have any reason to shake you down. And you don't even have to do anything illegal skywatching wise. They just might not like you, and they come over to your house and say, hey, we're just going to screw with you. The government has unlimited lawyers and you don't. So they're going to bankrupt your ass. So this is a tricky thing to do. It's how far do we push this? Now, I'm doing boots on the ground skywatching. I'm not at contact in the desert sucking $1,000 out of your wallet. I can't even believe that costs more than Coachella. You see you can see everything from contact in the desert on people's YouTube channels. Everything they're going to tell you is already on YouTube. So I think it's crazy people are even giving them money to go see what's up at contact in the desert. When it costs more than when it costs to see Lady Gaga, you're getting fucking ripped off, man. You're getting fucking ripped off. So I told my wife when my stuff comes in to bring it over. So we're going to start with one camera. I'm going to move this trail camera around. And if it doesn't work the way I want, I'm sending it back. Just like that piece of shit, poor man's Luke Skywalker binoculars they had 2 shows back. I'm seeing blue orbs on people filming blue orbs on Twitter. And they're not blue orbs. They're using those shit cameras. So expect wave after wave after wave after wave of blue orb footage. It's not really blue orbs. I think Chris Nonnell has the real stuff. Um, we got this Tic Tac video. Uh, Chris Leto is, I like that guy. He's actually, he's a former pilot. He goes out, he travels around, he does research. And he's at this full time. He is banging the doors on the new Tic Tac video that Jeremy Corbell released because it's new. And Chris brings up a really good point. Where's the commander and CO of the ship? Did they report this to Arrow? Where's those radar tapes of these things four of these things coming out of water? I mean, this is brand new stuff. Remember just a few years back when Arrow was doing, or Kirkpatrick was doing their magic trick, and they were saying, well, the 2004 incident with Commander Fravers, 20 years old. We need new stuff. Well, here's your fucking new stuff, man. This is brand new last year. Get everybody. Subpoena everybody from that ship in front of Congress and get them to testify. They've got to have Snoopy videos of these things coming out of the water. They might have sonar. I mean, this is a good case. We should really push on this new Tic Tac case. I agree with Chris that here's the case. Push on this one. The thermal stuff, no matter what we're going to see of UFO, it's going to be a blob. We're not going to make out fine details in thermal. You can't, because UFOs themselves don't have rivets, no bolts. They basically look like 3D printed stuff. So thermal is always going to be a blob. A lot of them sometimes have a color switch, color to thermal, so you might see something like that. Hey, there's another one of our scientists there. He's in the movie that just came out. Yeah, Chris is a good guy. He I think he even dropped mushrooms live. I didn't get to see that one. So yeah, that new Tic Tac video is something. It's, I don't know, but then Jeremy filmed the screen. But anyway, at least he put the data out. He put it on the radar. We got this. We got this Area 51 researcher. I don't know if you guys have heard about. I have heard about him yet, but he got busted not too long ago. Let's see where. Click my. Switch over to that for a second. Okay, this guy here. This guy. This is the guy who got raided. Jorge Arnaud and Linda Hello. They got raided and they ended up spending about 30 grand to defend himself. And they didn't do nothing wrong. Chuck Clark also lived up in that area. He also got raided. So anybody up there who mentions at all Area 51 is going to get fucked with. So if I were to, the conversation originally had, what if we put up 5-6 surveillance cameras around the Goldwater range? Be interesting. I mean, if they're dropping bombs and shooting missiles, I mean, it's simulated warfare training. The UFO is probably going to watch that. But then it gets to the point where you probably can't tell what's a UFO and what's military, because I'm not military, man. I have an untrained eye for that, so I can't tell what their operations would look like. You would need thermal and stuff to see, because they fly around a lot with the lights off. But I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to mess with them. We have plenty of other parks and plenty of other areas. But then there's still the gray area. What if people who live around Luke Air Force Base want to put them under surveillance? That's fine. But they're not ufologists. They're not going to start a podcast. They're not going to hit the beehive. So just the point is be mindful and be careful of what you're doing. Draw attention to them, not too much to yourself. Another area I wanted to put up a camera of South Mountain. So I'm probably going to do a live Skywatch from South Mountain up Dobson Point. Next time I'm going to bring 2 laptops, one for thermal and one for running the Skywatch, and I won't be using the phone next time, so I can use OBS. Now, it'd be nice to drop a trail cam somewhere down on those rocks and then have a camera up there all the time. But I get it. Why should I be able to do it? Why not everybody that comes into town have millions of fucking trail cameras littered everywhere? So that's, again, a park. The government owns all the good mountains too. They took everything. Everything that's good, they named it ours. They got to get permission. You never know. Now, if a lot of this stuff is banned for hunting because it's a hunting assist. It can help you show you where the animals are, and there's also some legal stuff around it. Like if you get a trail camera that's like a camera, now that's a different than one with the dome because the dome camera can be considered motorized, and some of them say, well, you can have a camera to look at wildlife for bird watching, but not if it's motorized. So look at all the little details about what you're going to do. And then I have people say, well, some tourist is going to come pick this up. I doubt it. I doubt it. This place is so big out here in the Southwest that no one's ever going to find this stuff. So let me show you what just came in. We got some new goodies, and yeah, this is you guys know what this is? This is something you never want to have. I hit my hand with a sledgehammer the other day and fucked it up. So I got to put it in this and then turn this on and squeeze my hand a little bit to find out what's going on there. So let's see what we got here. So this is going to be a new Skywatching camera unless it's a piece of shit. So, welcome to the family. So this will be something that we will use with our crew. There's a manual, so I remember how to put this back together in case this doesn't work out. Solar power. Ooh, nice. This small little guy. So yeah, if I have this setting, no one's going to see this shit. I mean, it's not like everybody, like there's millions of people walking around in the desert. This would make good over where Chris lives too. Chris is on his way out to California, but yeah, this is it's going to be an interesting project. So if this works out, and I figure out how to stream this, then I could have live from Sedona, live from the Superstitious Mountains. Some places I won't admit I'm live. I don't know. We'll see how this goes. But think about that. You can get a system like this, and you could do a trip out to LA, take a boat over to the Catalinas, grab yourself a six-pack, and just walk over to the west side of the islands and plant that puppy, and then go home and start watching for USOs. And then okay, I'm gonna do this. For the $1,000 you can give those people at Contact in the Desert, you can buy 10 of these things. For $1,000, you could buy every UFO book there is. You could buy 2 P900 cameras. You could buy 1 P1000 Nikon camera. You could buy a Lorex home security system with 6 4K cameras. The amount of stuff that you could do with $1,000 that would help you out versus helping out Contact in the Desert. I mean, a lot of the guys on the top 3 levels of Contact in the Desert, they probably have 3 homes and shit. I mean, this is they're making fuck you money. You know, the money they have probably just goes straight to Bitcoin collections. So think about that. If you're going to spend money and you're going to do boots on the ground, spend your money wisely. You know, do real UFO research. Yeah, I think the FBI. The FBI. They said I didn't read too much into that. I haven't. As soon as I'm done with work, I'm just doing ufology all the time. I haven't even had time to watch that information that Jesse Michaels just did with the guy who got defamed. Uh, they didn't, from what I read with these guys with the FBI, they didn't even announce that they raided him. So I don't know. You have to, typically what they do is they take your stuff and then they make you hire an attorney to get it released. So you could, because you can't go to the judge and say, I want my stuff released. So you got to go hire a guy, get a retainer, and get your shit back. Now, weren't those the smell? Were those the smell things or the vibration ones? Because there's a bunch of different sensors there. Yeah, I think they got him for tampering with the government sensor, but he never took them. He never took them. He just said, "Here's where they are," and I'm surprised he even found those. So, imagine walking in there. You wouldn't be able to walk into Area 51. They would get you a thermal. Bigfoot. Yeah, I went down a. I'm not a Bigfoot guy, but looking at trail cameras at Bigfoot's kind of fun. Uh, yeah, I am a former construction worker. I did construction work for 10 years. I can pretty much do anything, pretty much, except see real good for now. So we got this Area 51 guy here. Um, and okay, let me bring this up. I don't know what that was that flew by to you for that. Okay, so this is what I just got here. Um, so this is $100. These things are all over the place on Amazon. So they have double packages, singles. Um, where you're going to pay money is you're going to have to pay money uh, for streaming this back to yourself. But this was not on my radar that you could get all this stuff. Oh, look at here. Here's a whole. Now this might be interesting if it's if it's over 4G or 5G. But anywhere you can get a phone signal, you can put under surveillance now. So that really flips the script on the government. I don't know if you're going to get a phone signal out at Area 51. Not that I'm putting one there. Not that I'm putting one there. But you can get these and you can deploy these into hotspots. And, you know, if the government doesn't have to abide by the law, we still do. We still have to go by um, all the laws and all the stuff that's going on. Um, vibration sensors. I don't know. They probably have a lot more. They don't even have a fence at Area 51. There's no fence there. And there's no fence at the Barry Goldwater Gunnery Range. Uh, what was the strangest thing was going up to Utah when we did a Skywatch up there. They have cattle with no fence. That freaked me out. I was driving around in Utah around these windy roads, and here I see cows walking across the road, and it's like I could be going 50 miles an hour and smack into a cow. That's kind of odd. There's a lot of UFO news that happened in the last couple of weeks. So we're going to skip down to 5. Um, so there's that Tic Tac video that Jeremy Corbell talked about. Uh, that's a good one. And Chris Leto was saying, look, man, we really need to get this. If Congress is worth anything, start asking about this. And we have Paulina Luna at the bottom because we put the least last. And then we have that whole Harold Malgren interview that came out. If you haven't seen it, and I haven't seen it yet, Jesse Michaels did an interview, I think, with his widow or his daughter, uh, and this guy was an advisor to four presidents. I think it was Ford, Nixon, and JFK, and one other one. And he mentioned, I think, that there was an Operation Bluegill that downed a UFO or something along those lines. I don't know all the details, so I apologize for that. Uh, and he ended up touching a piece of debris that was like the Roswell crash. And he had heard that from the Roswell crash, one of the aliens survived, and it told him you could take down a UFO using directed energy weapons, like pulsed microwaves and things like that. I have a video on this channel. If you go into my channel and you type NASA, uh, the NASA videos will come up from the SDS-48. How I got these videos was back in '97. There was a guy named Donald Ratch. Yeah, I think he's still alive. And Donald, what he was doing was he was ordering tapes directly from NASA. So he was FOIAing NASA, doing Freedom of Information Act to NASA. And he would say, I want all your tapes from SDS-48. And he would pay for whatever the cost was, and they would mail him super VHS copies off the master from SDS-48. And me and Donald traded snail mail and videotapes. This is back in the day when they had to send tapes through the mail. And he would send me tapes from SDS stuff, and I would send him stuff I was shooting. Uh, so we were trading stuff. So I was getting, let's see, it's first to him, second to him. So I was getting third generation NASA tapes. And I uploaded a lot of them on the internet. So you might see really old clips that say Omni Chapter House or something like that. That was my site before Omni Chapter House became UFOvideo.com. So the most interesting one was not the one where it did the 130-degree curve. To me, the most interesting one was when the audio starts and the pointing down in color, and the guy says, we're downloading some tapes from disc 6, and I think they mean cassettes or something, because they would film in like 8mm in the space shuttle, and then they would transfer those down to Mission Control. So what was happening, he was filming something, and this UFO goes from the bottom left-hand corner up to the right, and there's what looks like some type of lasers, like straight out of Star Wars, shooting at it, right? And it's like, I'm looking at this going, oh, this poor son of a bitch, he's dead. And they're just like shooting directional fire. And right at this one time, one comes across the screen and two pieces come off the back of that UFO. I studied the fuck out of that thing. I mean, I blew it up to 4K. I inverted it. I wanted to see, did we actually hit that thing, or who's shooting this? Is this UFO versus UFO, or is this us versus UFO? But either way, no one is ever going to convince me that that's not a UFO and that thing is not being targeted for destruction. That thing is being shot at. It's clear as day. It's like they say with pornography, you know it when you see it. When you watch that video, you'll know it when you see it. They're shooting at that thing. What it looks like is a piece of, I don't know, plasma fire or whatever went at it and blew off a couple of chunks off the back. You could even see that on Sightings with Tim White when that show came out. The best that I could see in my analysis, to be honest, is when that weapon fire came and it looks like it actually hit the back of the UFO. We can't tell because it's top and bottom. But it looks like the pieces in the back came off before it got hit, like chaff. It looks like the UFO like flushed some stuff out the back to make it look like it got hit. And then I think it slowed down. Interesting clip. Interesting clip. Kind of going off track there, but the U.S. does shoot these things down, and apparently been shooting them down for a while. So anyway, this guy comes up, this new story, and again, the bigger story became the debunkers erased him. They canceled this guy. So we talked about before on the show, Jim Delatesso, his Village Labs got canceled because a prick from MUFON, Erskine Payton, and Cal Korff conspired. They wrote an article. They shopped it around to the Arizona Republic. They wouldn't take it. They shopped it around to the East Valley Tribune. They wouldn't take it. Then they shopped it around to a weed and hooker newspaper called the Phoenix News Time. And they said, fuck it, we'll publish it. They'll publish anything. So Tony Ortega published that, and Jim got canceled. So with the testimony of Harold Melgreen, what happens is the guerrilla skeptics went after this guy. So, and this was all credit to Rob Heatherly. Rob Heatherly is the guy who shined a hell of a spotlight on this group. There's a group called the Guerrilla Skeptics, and they're not skeptics at all. They're not even on the fence. So they bastardized the word skeptic. They deleted Chris Mellon's Wikipedia. These guys totally control Wikipedia. Go to the Phoenix Lights Wikipedia. What that'll read is there's a guy who looks like Captain Kangaroo. I think his name is Jack Schrafer, or Bob Schrafer, I think is that guy's name. Bob Schrafer says, oh, it was just some A-10s that flew down the state and then dropped some players. Simple as that. That's not what happened during the Phoenix Lights, but that shows you that this debunker group controls this. So anyway, they deleted Chris Mellon's entire Wikipedia page. He's gone. They were changing this Harold guy's Wikipedia page, saying he was just a minor advisor. As soon as you mention UFOs and it gets on Wiki, these people attack it. Obama talked about UFOs. Are they going to delete Obama's Wikipedia page? So this Susan, I think it's Barrick or Burchick or whatever, so many of these people. She's the leader of this group, and she just sneers like, hey, you guys can't do anything about us. So they totally run Wikipedia like a mob. Matt Ford with the Good Trouble show was talking about with a lawyer about doing a RICO suit on these people. And I'm all for it. I'm sue the piss out of these people. It's time to take off the kid gloves with these people. These people do not treat us, they do not treat the other side equal, or they're not skeptical, they're not fair and balanced at all. They will do everything they can to erase you, to destroy you, to take your life's work and throw it in the fucking recycle bin. But us, it's just like, oh, we must be proper and have, fuck that. See, I believe in the theory that they had in Roadhouse. It's when someone comes and fucks with you, you be nice. When someone comes and screws up, you still be nice until it's time not to be nice anymore. And we are long past that time to be nice with these people. We should make examples out of them. They like to go after your livelihood and how you make a living and take that out from underneath you. Well, that Susan girl couldn't be employed by anybody, because what kind of full-time job could she have when she's full-time editing people's Wikipedia pages? So she's most likely collecting Social Security and can't afford a $5,000 retainer fee. So I would find any reason at all, just like the FBI, to take her ass to court for some reason and let her defend herself. Who cares if it's bullshit? Drag her ass in court, subpoena her, and Mick West. You cut the heads off of these snakes and the rest of the cockroaches that are anonymous on Reddit, well, scram. They won't dare throw their livelihood up. Most of the other people won't even use their real name or their real face. They hide behind screen names. So the hell if they're going to throw up a $5,000 retainer to defend themselves. As soon as you don't even have to win. As soon as you find out that they find out these people are in court, these people are going to, oh shit, they're coming after us now. They got our IP addresses. They're going to subpoena our service providers, because I bet these people aren't smart enough to be using VPNs and shit like that. So I would go directly after Mick West and RICO these people. Mick West slanders people all the time. His entire spiel is, I know what you saw. And you didn't see a UFO. You saw something else, stupid. You misinterpreted it. And he comes off nice because he's British. If that guy had a southern accent or something like that, it wouldn't sound so nice at all, would it? So the fucking piss out of these people. Drag their ass to court. It's I wish I was around when Phil Class was here so I could give him a nice roundhouse kick to the face. These people deserve to be taken down and treated like the garbage that they fucking are. To buy a wiki. I don't know about wiki. I never really thought much of wiki at all. Like who goes there? I mean, you can't even cite it in a college paper. It's community sourcing that got taken over by a mob. But well, fuck those people, those guerrilla debunkers. So that's what's going on with the wiki wars. So these people out there, the cancel people, what else are they doing? These people will be the first ones. Well, maybe not the first to be ufologists, but they'll mess with me and radar if they can. They'll do anything they can to stop me. They don't want people believing in UFOs. They don't want people skywatching. They don't want people doing research. They don't want groups of people getting together. They do everything they can to ridicule and keep the stigma alive because they have a very, very rigid ideology that that UFOs threaten that, so they have to destroy it. And they have no problem. They never fight with the hands behind their back. They don't use kid gloves on people, but they expect it back. So I'm all for fucking with them. If there's a fund where you can throw some money in to go after them, if there's guys who sue Mick West, I'll be throwing money in to take that guy down. Because for every Mick West, there's 50,000 of us. There's more people believe in UFOs, have seen UFOs, have stories about them. It's time to take this trash out to the dumpster. And that leads us with last and least, Anna Paulina Luna, putting the Luna back in lunatic. Now, what happened to Nancy Grace? She was all gung-ho into this. But last I heard, she said, the administration said those were drones, and I'm fine with that. Case over. So much for this administration coming clean. There's no way in hell the Trump administration's going to come out and talk about this. Guy's in the middle of tariff wars and all that shit. UFOs throws a whole monkey wrench into all of that. It fucks up the stock market. I mean, they're not going to wheel these bodies out anytime. Because where we're at in ufology is people are really just sick and tired of stories. They want to see the bodies. I think that's where it's got. We know UFOs are real. People see them. We know the government's covering it up. We pay for them to cover it up. We want these damn bodies now. Let's see it. We're sick of it. We want to see this before we clack out and get old. Well, that's not going to happen as long as we got a CIA. I'm convinced of that. We can't have the CIA and disclosure at the same time. Maybe if Elon fires everyone in the CIA, we have a chance. Or if they fire the head of every single branch from 3 down, almost down to the guy who cleans the shit houses in the military. You start with the top of the CIA, the NSA, the NRO, the whole alphabet soup. Fire everybody, because these legacy programs have to be run from the head of this. There's a picture I saw the other day of the head of the CIA. Every single head, every person who's headed the CIA knows about this. All of them. They were all in on it. They all know about the cover-up. And from them, the assistant CIA director, some of the people under them, because the guy at the top would know of it, but he's not personally managing the shit. Just like the head of a bank doesn't personally manage all these stuff. He's got people under him that take care of it. So 4 or 5 deep under the head of these departments are also going to be in charge of this. And apparently the Department of Energy has a lot of these craft in a lot of these places. I would be all for putting those places under surveillance if possible. If we could find out that somewhere in Las Vegas was a warehouse and there's UFO eggs in there, I'd park a van in front of that place with cameras. So it's really time to do what we can with this. So yeah, Paulina, she has a timeline. Oh great, going to be a committee, going to be a report, going to be another investigation of an investigate the government investigating itself. It's ridiculous. It's like when the cops do something wrong and they investigate themselves and say, "We looked at our buddies, we didn't do any wrong." Case closed. That's what's going to happen. This is more of Lucy setting up the football. Charlie's going to hit it. I mean, so if she uncovers anything, wouldn't that mean Arrow was crooked and A-tip, all that? We're not going to get anything out of her when she's looking for is a check. Lockheed Martin writes her a check. She shuts up. She goes away. We don't really hear much from Tim Burchett anymore. And Matt Gaetz is out of Congress. He wasn't no big. He kind of looked like Butthead. That was a funny looking dude. But we're all Mark Rubio, right? Mark Rubio. He was big time into this. I have no faith in these guys, but he seemed like he genuinely had an interest. They probably showed him some stuff, and he's like, never mind. I would like to just go forward. If you get into office, you want to do your little pet projects that everybody got you elected for. You don't want to go down the deep end and find out you're the UFO president. They would if you came out and said UFOs are real, they would probably bring up what is that, the 17th Amendment or something, that the president's crazy. So we're not going to get anything from Paulina Luna. It's going to be a more here's a report. Classified one's interesting. The public one's all redacted. Means and methods. And she runs out the clock. That's what they're doing. They're running out the clock on all this stuff. Let's go back to the massive update. God, what in the hell did I get myself into here? Truth Seeker, this is all your fault, buddy. Should have never put radar. He mentioned radar, and I thought, yeah, what about radar? Oh, fuck. I ended up getting radar. Didn't know it was going to lead to a shovel. So I got a kind of a corner lot, and it's all dirt. So no, this is not where. This is not the grave of Phil Glass. This is my money pit in the backyard. So that led to a pallet of Quikrete, 60 pounds apiece, 70 bags of that shit. I got 3 pallets of this stuff. And I thought this was pretty hard, but you know what the hardest thing was is just paying for it, getting home. So from there, I talked to my buddy. He's in here. He's in the chat. He had some pretty good advice that I need to do. I was thinking like a 4-foot footing, but he said no, do 8 inches. So I did 8 inches, and then I dug a hole down 3 foot into the ground. Then I went and got this. I couldn't find a glue lam beam anywhere, so I made my own. I made my own beam with a couple of notches, and I'm using treated wood. Treated wood is you don't need to paint it. You can put it in the ground. It's termite proof. So I put that in the ground, and then I was attaching it to the house, but I didn't really like these beams because they all split. So basically, I'm just bolting. On the other side of the wall are these TVs. So right on the other side of this wall is my mess. So I ended up replacing the entire project the wood with treated 2x6s. And then I got assigned to do rebar once. I used to build bridges, so I built half the bridges around Sioux Falls, South Dakota, when I worked for Sioux Falls Construction. So I got tying rebar, so I know how to tie rebar. So I put a rebar cage down there. And then last week, We poured it. Took about 2 hours. And then I got, instead of cameraholic, got cement fever and said, hey, it's kind of fun. So I ended up putting a bunch of wires in. So I ordered a whole bunch more wires, and I put up hundreds of feet of new wires for add-ons. So I'm going to build another man cave here and probably throw some more cameras on top of that. So next up is I poured another pad next to that one, and then tomorrow I'm going to pour a 6x8 pad and either put a spa there or maybe a shed. So yeah, that is that's my money pit sitting in the ground and almost done with it. It's finally about over with. So I'm waiting for the concrete to cure up a bit. Then we're going to move the mast on it. The house was a rental. Hey Rick, interesting you bring that up. There's two of these alien things I was thinking about. Okay, so we have the one in Miami. And the one in Miami is strange because there's a shot with like 500 police cars around a mall. And somebody showed me a video of the alien in Miami. And it was an what do you call it? Arachnoid? It's a spider. It was a big spider. I can't even remember what that was. If Clive, if you're still yeah, there you go, Dan. Yeah, Dan, do you remember that? Jeff had that video. Um, so Jeff, maybe Dave Altman has. Dave would know that. But there was a spider walking around the street, like yay big, and somebody took a picture of it. And I don't know if, but anyway, so there's that case, and then there's there's the Las Vegas one, and I always thought, oh, it's a bunch of shit. And now I'm reading that the cops involved, I don't know if this is true, but somebody, maybe Steve Rohn lives there, he can look into this, or any of us, that the cops, body camera from that case, and the cops have not been released. The cops have been on sick leave ever since. I don't know if that's true, but if the cops didn't return to work, then we're not talking pure Stephen Greer bullshit mountain here. We're talking there maybe there's something here. Because if we have a case where aliens are sometimes let loose in cities, the Virginia case in Brazil, that's another one. These red devil aliens were walking around there. Apparently, there's video of that. So these could be U.S. cases. Uh, it's possible. I'm skeptical too, but I'm open-minded, and I know bullshit when I see it because I get finely tuned bullshit detector. I don't know about those. I didn't really look into them, and now I'm kind of second guessing. Like another thing that's weird with the Las Vegas ones is you mentioned there were 9 and 10 foot tall aliens. That isn't what I would expect from a person making shit up. A person making shit up would probably say they were these small grays. Why would he say they're 9 feet and like predator like? So anyway, that's pretty strange. Yeah. This is all pretty much done. The buddy I got the mast from, or not the mast, the 1,000 pound engine hoist. Can we have it back? Fuck no! That's in the middle of installing this shit, and we can have that back in a couple of weeks after that thing's installed. Yeah, that's you read the same thing, Rick. You read the same thing. I don't know. No, I have my eyes almost as wide as Jake Barber. What the fuck is happening there? And Jake Barber, they hired. Speaking of Skywatcher, Truth Seeker sent me. Okay, there's been this dog whistle going around. I think on Twitter. He sent me somebody I can't remember his name. Apologize for that. Compiled their own version of a dog whistle, which is a bunch of I don't know frequencies or sounds put together. I don't know if it's bullshit, but it's worth a try. Some people have tried this, and then I think I seen a video of a cylinder or something show up, so that's worth it. I just have been so busy trying to get. If I'm not putting the construction shit together, we have scientists in town that are great people I'm working with. Going out to the desert, I got my own. I'm really busy, so I'm only going to watch stuff if it's kind of. I haven't even seen Andros. So the new Star Wars shit. And I'm a huge Star Wars motherfucker. So if that's really interesting and you guys bring it to my attention, then I'm going to watch it and make time to watch it. Yeah, yeah, that's interesting. That they might have a case. I mean, let's say this is real. Let's say a real alien thing happened, and it's not your stereotypical grace, right? Whitley Strieber, the aliens he's seen were blue guys, little blue guys. I remember his talk from that, and then I remember that movie Communion with Christopher Walken, and they had these little blue fuckers, these guys, these little blue fucks came out of the room into here. You know, ask my walking. Everybody does a walking, right? So if something happens and you see something that's not the regular gray aliens and you go on TV, they're going to ridicule you just like they did this family, right? You have a great sighting. They shit on it. The news does. They're more open now, but not like before. So I have been telling you guys for a while, the Skywatcher team here, Clive has this movie coming out, and it just dropped Tuesday. And I want to tell you guys about a movie review. So let me get that queued up here because it's kind of funny. And let's see, I got a couple other things before we get to that. So yeah, this is the backyard here. I added a couple more surveillance cameras. I put a bird camera for when we feed birds, and this is the construction project. I don't have a backyard anymore. I got a fucking construction project. And yeah, the mast is going to be bolted down here in 2 weeks. So added some more cameras. Oh, here's my movie review here. Let's read this. So I have Aliens Uncovered by Michael Talbot Haynes, April 1st. So you got to see this before it came out. This is by far the meatiest alien hunt I have seen, with evidence that's actually interesting for once. There's some factors that'll make the non-devotee wince a little. King's lab coat and shorts combo was a little particular. Hey man, what the fuck? You don't like my goddamn outfit? Okay, first of all, we're shooting from here up. So I'm expecting these shots. I'm not expecting shots of my goddamn feet on the DVD or we don't have DVDs anymore, but you know, a movie. So yeah, God, now I haven't seen that movie or I haven't seen the full movie. I saw the post-production edit that Clive sent right before it went off to these people. And then it takes a while because they got to convert it into different languages and close captioning and all that. But there's a shot of my leg, and I'm looking at it, and I could see the paralysis is out of control. And then right after we shot this, it consumed my entire body. The skin fell off my hands. It started getting on my eyelids. I was looking for trains to walk in front of, and then they put me on this cancer drug that got rid of it. And I'm still on that. I can't drink. I can't be in the sun long. I'm health is really fucked up. But anyway, back to the review. But it is the Valley, and it does contrast Donald's more casual wear and come as you are. But this is a light show, not a fashion show, and the actual videos are more than pay off for your investment. So that's a great compliment. At first, the study reminded me of the graphics of an old Atari game with the dots and blocky shapes standing from complex creations. It's precisely this game of follow the dot that Chris uses to hook your attention. Through the image tightening and various tech methods, the blurry artifacts of the video take on a mysterious overtones of what is seen, defying easy explanation. This is by far the meatiest alien hunt I've seen. The results are sometimes hypnotizing, And I know exactly why. At the end of that video, at the end of this movie, is the blue orb, and they gave me. So in the movie, well, Chris is a star, and he shot all this video, and he comes over to the house, and I had just I think I had two of his videos ahead of time, and they were flying humanoid videos. So I took those videos and I studied the hell out of them. I blew them up, I stabilized them, I looked at them, and I said, "Shit, we got the same thing because they have matching hands, matching feet." And I found another video from Atlanta with matching gloves and feet, same color, same everything. And Chris and me didn't know each other at the time, and we had both shot videos of the same thing. So he comes over and he shows. We look at his flying humanoid video, and I show mine. And then Clyde goes, "Oh, here's a whole bunch of stuff you haven't seen, Tom." He gets this folder of stuff out, these orb videos, and this is my on this movie is my genuine reaction to all these videos. And then later, I took these videos and went to town on them and studied the hell out of them. And then the blue orb video, I stabilized and blew up. And it's in this video a lot, and it's just mesmerizing. I swear to God, it'll hypnotize you. It's very, very hypnotic. So make sure you check this out. So it's hypnotizing, especially when you're tripping on the energy fields emulating from the portal. King shows you why he is such an authority in this field with a lot of depth observations and insight into the footage. Donald seems like the, Donald seems like the type of guy you would smoke a bowl with and is very believable. What the fuck again? Now, I'm not the type of guy, I'm not cool enough that you would bring a bowl to me. Do I look like I got a stick up my ass? Fuck no. If this isn't fucking cool. Back to the fucking review. Um, Chris himself comes on screen several times in his command center, delivering some skepticism of his own during the exploration. You get the feeling these guys are not easy to impress, which makes it more impressive when they are impressed. I'm also dying to see what might be found on the private witch mountain this guy has overlooking his place. Chris sets everything up for a follow-up movie trip to the hill, and you look forward to seeing the next one with the feeling you got the complete experience from this one. Aliens observed, and report may not be made me a believer in alien encounters yet, but it's made me a believer in the legitimacy of the hunt. Watch this when you watch these or not. It's worth it. So that's a review of this film. Yeah, I got a sickness, and the disease is more cameras and more concrete. I have entire suits of chainmail I've made. So yeah, that's the movie. Now let me see if I can bring this up. Now what's interesting is Apple. I heard about this and I found it out today. You cannot play Apple stuff uh, live. They have a filter or something. Very Apple's fucking smart. They hire the best guys. So anyway, but I can show you the preview. Let's see. Let's get this up here. Um, from here. So we're going here. Damn it! I gotta do that again. All right. This second we signing this damn thing. Hold on. I gotta go back here. All right. This is what I wanted to do. All right. So I'm gonna tell you how to find this. You go here and you can type in alien on your search. And then from Alien, come over and around here. It's pretty cool. It's in the middle of all these alien stuff, man. All right, so you got this alien uncovered here.
Invites endless curiosity, a unique gathering unfolds. Here we find individuals from diverse backgrounds, each embarking on a personal journey, driven by a singular quest to uncover the secrets that govern existence itself. Each person, a beacon of knowledge, holds a piece of the cosmic puzzle. Ideas clash, yet harmony emerges, a symphony of thoughts in pursuit of a greater truth.
So this was taken, hell, just 2-3 months ago.
In this extraordinary journey, they seek not only answers, but also a deeper understanding of how their stories intertwine with the cosmos. Sometimes the greatest answers lie within us all. Join us as we transition from analysis to action.
I don't know, but I would probably guess that this happened during an eclipse.
Seeking not just answers, but the profound stories etched in the fabric of the sky. Stay tuned as we prepare to unlock the secrets of the skies, where science meets the strangeness that exists just above our heads.
So yeah, there you have it. Aliens uncovered. I'm in the Aliens movie. Fucking A, like Hudson would say. Observe and report. Now we did shoot part two. Part two, part two was the field investigation where we went out there. That's why we had the blue lights. So if you watch the Skywatch that I was doing at Barry Goldwater, I had a blue light because we were checking ranges, like how far can you get away from the camera with this blue light until you see a person? Because we test everything. So we're a group of scientists in the valley who have teamed up to try to find some of these answers ourselves. We have our own Skywatcher group. We have our own places we go, our own hotspots, and our own stuff on Apple TV. This will probably end up on Tubi, I think. I'd have to ask Clive. He's got stuff on all these different streamers. I don't know how that works. But it's out there. Now, as far as that dog whistle, I am going to try that dog whistle that Truth Seeker sent me. Jake Barber came out today with a video, and he said that they're not going to release their dog whistle because it's proprietary technology. So I can imagine a lot of people are pissed because you can't psionics your way into it. You could try to, or let's just call it channeling. So they have channeling the technical dog whistle. Now, I'm going to give these guys some breathing room. People are jumping down their back on social media saying, where is the radar? I looked at Skywatcher AI today. They haven't updated the site with the radar or the RF or any of that stuff. Now, let me tell you something. These people that are asking for it are trolls. They're stupid. They don't know what they're talking about. If they released radar, they wouldn't know what to fucking do with it. This is radar, and radar is not like you see on television where it says, hey, this person is, or hey, this object is coming in, and on you. If you watch television, they still have walls within walls for people to move. They still have, you zoom in on a license plate, it gets clear and clear and clear. And they have, when a UFO goes by radar, it says UFO, and it says the altitude and the speed next to it. So that's not what we get, man. That's not it at all. Look at the Tedesco brothers. They have a clip out there. They have two different types of marine radar, and they also published a paper. The chart I looked at before in Skywatcher wise, I think they're at level 4 or 5. They have a radar that shoots up. They have a radar that shoots sideways. And then they have their own proprietary algorithms or something to figure out where something is. But still, at the same time, it doesn't tell you the altitude or any of that. The best we can get is distance. So you can have where you are, and Another reason they're probably not going to release it is because it says to the public exactly where the Skywatch range is. So what do you think these uh, guerrilla debunkers are going to do? They're going to go over there and buy 500 balloons and release them and fuck with them, right? So you want to have your scientific control situation clean from that. So I understand why they wouldn't release this, because it's going to give away their address. And two, most people wouldn't even know how to use it. They're probably not using military radar. They're probably using marine radar like everybody else is. And what that can do is tell you how far away and roughly the speed. You're going to see a blob on the radar. And the sweeps of these things are not as fast as military, because the faster the sweeps, the faster the data return. So then you're going to have a blob here, and these rings are going to come in miles. The next ring could be 2 miles, 5 miles, 10 miles, depending on how you're zooming in. Then you're going to have to like get out like an old ruler or something and go, okay, the blob moved from here over to here, 4 millimeters, and then scale up the math. You know, most people can't do anything beyond basic arithmetic. They can't do algebra. And then figure out how fast this dot moved. You're going to have basic training on aircraft, of seeing what aircraft looks like on there. You have to be acclimatized to that. You're not just going to walk in the radar and know what the fuck it does. So therefore, you can't shill some dumbass on social media. The only technical thing he has is his phone. He's not going to understand it. Right? Okay. Next. Radio frequencies. If they put out a radio frequency and they say, hey, it's spiked over here, the radio frequency might be their dog whistle. So they're not going to give that out either. They already said they're not giving out their dog whistle. So if they have radio frequency disruptions or anything like that, the average person isn't going to know how to do it, because one, they don't have a $500 SDR. They don't have a computer for this. All these people do is have these things walking around in their left ass cheek of their pants. And you're trying to appease these people. Another one. If you want to know these secrets, here's the phone number you call. 1-800-GO-ARMY. Go enlist. Go get in there. Or call the Navy. If you're real fucking tough, call the Marines. If you want an easier job, call the Air Force. Go enlist yourself. Go get read in on all these projects. Then you can risk your livelihood and get on podcasts or television and risk prison and everything you worked for since the day you were born, and you can be the guy who goes down. But expecting everybody else to do it's chicken shit. So there's how you can do it. You can do it yourself. But we know most people aren't going to do that. So they couldn't even read the radar if you gave it to them. They couldn't read the radio frequencies. If there's electro-optical stuff, they wouldn't even know what to fucking do with it. The best you could show them is maybe a video or something like that. There's one thing here I did not cover that we really need to cover, and that's this orb chase.
Yo, that is a freaking orb. That's an orb being chased by a helicopter. What the hell? That is a straight up orb, dude. Being followed by a freaking helicopter.
Yeah. I've seen this type of thing. A friend of mine, I think he's gone, Mike DeVere, he's a Skywatcher friend of mine for 5 years, told me about one of these things. Now, that video here was shot, I think, in, what is it, Weta? I can't remember. A town I haven't heard of that's right next to Tombstone, Arizona, which is south of Tucson. Beautiful country out there. So that was definitely a helicopter. Some people have looked this up on the ABSD, and they've been saying that was a Cessna. Now, the debunkers are saying, don't listen to what they're saying. Fuck them. They're all, whatever they say, go the other direction. They're saying that's a helicopter with its lights off. Does that look like a helicopter with its lights off? Now, back to my story. My friend Mike told me that when he was living here, he saw F-15 chasing a red orb. And this classification, I would call that, whatever that thing is, it looks like a yellow orb. Very weird color. You don't see those too often. But this was a red one. And he told me he saw a jet chasing this thing. And I'm like, really? And it goes that fast, just like this. So we're doing a Skywatch. This is, I think, before '96. And I had a townhouse over in Tempe. And I hear his car pulling up. So I open the front door. I see Mike. He's got a six-pack in his hand and a camera in his other hand. And he puts the beer down. He goes, "That's what I'm talking about." And he points up. And I look straight up. And I see a red orb. And right behind it is it F-15, because that's the only jets we had back at Luke Air Force Base at the time, were F-15. That's 15Cs or something. And it's chasing it. It's that distance behind it that you see in this video clip. Real close, like, and I'm looking at it going, fucking A, oh my God. And going through my head is I got the Super VHS camera that was always sitting behind the door, ready with the tape and a full battery. And they thought, I can go get that camera, and I know it takes 27 seconds to hit the power button, for the thing to power up, for the spool to spin up, and for me to hit record for the thing to actually start registering on the tape, because we timed that. So I'm looking at it going, I can get the camera, or I can watch this. So I opted to watch it, because if I got the camera, if you count 27 seconds, that thing's gone. This clip is 40 seconds long.
That is a freaking orb. That's an orb.
So when I saw it, it was directly over our head, about like this, but it was a jet behind it, and the object was red.
That's
You go
an
27
orb.
seconds forward from here.
What the hell? That is a straight up orb, dude. Being followed by a freaking helicopter.
You don't have time to get it. 27 seconds, it's gone.
What the hell? I just now pulled up. Smells like something's burning.
Now, does that look like a helicopter or an aircraft with its lights off? You can see stars right next to it. How come we can't see the outline of whatever the hell this is if this is military craft? I can't make out any shape around that. There's no FAA anti-collision lights, but the military is kind of exempt because they can just shut the lights off entirely.
Yo. That is a freaking orb. That's an orb being chased by a helicopter. What the hell? That is a straight up orb, dude. Being followed by a freaking helicopter. What the hell? I just now pulled up. Smells like something's burning.
So yeah, what I saw looked like that object with no shape. Orb. So the class, I was thinking about making a chart. You know, the Skywatch has their chart with like the 9 objects. I was going to do the exact same thing at the exact same. Don't have time yet, but I was going to have a hockey puck on there, a flying humanoid, and all the red orb. See the Phoenix lights, whatever the fuck different shit I recorded, and put it on there. And we can put Chris's blue orb on there. I'm not giving away everything that's on that video. You guys got to watch it, observe and report. That delivers UFO footage after UFO footage after UFO footage on that one. That's a good video. So this one, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. This is another one. Now, Chris Leto, can shake the tree on the USS Jackson footage and the 4 orbs. What about this one? Who was in that? Who was flying that goddamn helicopter? What's the name of that pilot? What was in front of them? Where's their gun camera footage? You tell me that this doesn't have gun camera footage? It wasn't recording it. If this was an orb and a spectacular event, then you got to think that somebody's filming it because they're definitely looking at it. They weren't just, hey, I'm going in this direction and it was going in this direction too. No, there's some smoke and some fire going on there. But this guy got out the camera and recorded before it got there. So this really needs to be looked into. We start FOIAing this, find out did this come from like Fort Huachuca? I mean, there's all kinds of stuff going on down there. This is where the rubber duck video was shot. And that might be a UFO too, an oddball. 20 minutes, that wasn't, I don't know. There's something going on with this. Did Border Patrol see this? Yeah, how often is this shit going on down there? That's a damn good, interesting video. And it's, again, shot down here in Arizona, and it's brand new. And this happened after I had a phone call with some of my friends about how far should we go about putting military bases under surveillance? Because this is where the fucking UFOs are. You know, if this yellow thing flew over town, you know, MUFON wouldn't do shit, but we might have Mr. BoobTube or somebody else here film it. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I just keep expanding to the point where, you know, I have a lot of stuff. I don't know. You guys tell me. Leave comments on this video, and fuck it. I never say this. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. If you're not a subscriber, you got to be a subscriber to jump in the chat. I kind of flip that around a bit. Sometimes you got to be a subscriber, sometimes you don't. But tell me what you think of this video. Tell me what you think of the Observe and Report. If you watched it, leave some comments on that film, whether you liked it or not. Give us a review on that. If you watch it, do a review on that. Is Chris the guy you would smoke a bowl with? What about Dan? What about me? You know, whatever. But anyway, a lot of good shit happens in Arizona, so we need to have more cameras and need to have some more coverage. Let's see what Eric Moy says. Sorry to muddy the waters a bit. I've actually had something like this before. It's lighted helo closely behind another one. Zero lights on it, dusk. No idea what to do. Do you have that on tape, Eric, or you just saw it? Oh, did you see something like this, but you didn't get video of it? Like how I saw. See, I saw the red version of this, but there was a jet, so they were going a lot faster. I mean, my impression was, and again, I'm a dumbass. I never got to serve the country in a military capacity. I'm an observer, but my thoughts were this jet is pumping it as hard as it can before it hits a sonic boom. Like he was cruising, and the UFO looked like it was cruising, and it was like, no matter what you do, I'll max speed. If you go 100, if you go 502, I'll go 503. You go 504, I'll go 505. Like that thing is whatever speed you got, I got one higher. Like you go to 10, I go to 11. That was my impression, that you can't catch up to this, and that's not ours. That's not U.S. This is not a UFO in the sense there's people in there. This is an orb. It's a ball of energy. It's like a photon torpedo that shoots out of the front of the USS Enterprise. It's a ball of plasma or something, but it's under intelligent control. It's maybe under alien control. I don't know. But it was like that. And now we have this video to point to say this is what I saw. It looked like this. So that. Yeah, Eric, me too, Eric. It was either I got to watch it, or I got to come out and then see the tail end of it where it was gone, and then engage, and it wouldn't be impressive. Again, it was the Phoenix, same camera I filmed the Phoenix lights on. It didn't film at night worth of shit. It wouldn't even get color. You would just see a white light. You had to have real expensive cameras back in the 90s to actually get color at night. And then, so Ed Mike telling me about it, DeVaron told me about it. I saw the red orb at my house. The third time I saw it, the video's on my channel. I was watching a military operating area, but this wasn't a military operating area. This was over Buckeye. So I was driving down the 10. I had gotten just south of where the Gila River Indian Casino is, and I saw a flare. And I said, "Holy shit, man! They're launching the flares." The military doesn't always launch them over Barry Goldwater. They were launching these just behind South Mountain, behind Ahwatukee, but it looked like it was over in Buckeye. So anyway, I saw a flare, so I pulled over, started taping. My wife somehow tracked me down, found me there, so she shows up, and we're just sitting there filming, and I see a flare, and I see that red orb. Oh shit, the red orb is here fucking with these people. So the red orb is going, and it shuts its lights off. And then it turns on. And I'm like, oh, it's cruising towards the flare, but it's turning this red light on, it's turning red light off. And I picked all this up on video, and I uploaded it on the channel, but you can't see anything because it's just, they're all white lights. But and also what I was seeing was at least 10 to 15 miles away or farther, so I couldn't tell, was the red light an afterburner from a jet? And I'm seeing the back of it. I don't think so. It just looked creepy. But then again, if you're not in the military and you're not watching this stuff all the time, you don't know what's normal. You don't know hey, that looks like a UFO, but that's just us. That's just the ordnance, or that's just something. And then even people in the military aren't immune to this. Jeremy Corbell dropped that 21 Palms video. And when that video came out, and that's the one of the flares, and one of them drops, and when it does, it looks like a V-shaped. And I looked at that, and at this point, from decades in, I'm like, okay, I'm kind of a flare expert because I've seen this for a while. Those are flares. I immediately knew it when I saw it. And I thought, damn, Jeremy, you had this video for a while, and you didn't even fucking vet it. So he doesn't vet the videos like you think he does. Like, he turns over every rock. He keeps them on the hard drive, and he waits for an opportune time to splash it out and get those ad revenue bucks. But anyway, I knew this was a flare. What happens, one of those flares dropped, and the smoke column went up to the other four and made it look like a boomerang. And even the troops that were at 29 Palms or whatever, they didn't know there were flares. It could be their first time out, and they don't know they're flares. I've had people in the military tell me, even all the time, that what I shot wasn't flares. And they've been in the military X years, and these aren't flares. I had the woman from the CW show, Mysteries Explained. She served on the same aircraft carrier that the gimbal was shot, and not the Nimitz, forgetting the name. And she said she's seen flares, and my video isn't flares. And I'm thinking, fucking flares, man. I've been out to the Goldwater Range and seen they're flares. They're Lu-2s. They cost about $120. You can throw them out of a helicopter. They're aluminum, and they burn up with a parachute. They fall 8 feet per second. Once the parachute's deployed, it goes slower. But if you're 50 miles away, you'll see that in the distance. It'll just you won't notice the drop, because you can't notice the drop when you're looking at it like a 3% elevation. So anyway, we covered a lot of stuff. Trying to wrap this up. Rick, let's see what you got. My dad moved out to Arizona. We just visited the first time in April. He took us to Sedona. Oh, great. And we wish we had more time. We stayed in the night watch. We didn't know Sedona was a hotspot. Sedona is a hotspot, and it's a tourist trap. It's people go there because there's people that rent Gen 3 binoculars for $100. They take you out. You are guaranteed. I'm not going to name her. You can look her up. But they have a business, and they charge you $100, and they guarantee you see a UFO, and you're going to see satellites. You're going to see satellites. You're going to see a lot of Starlinks with them. There are genuine UFOs out there, but they bastardized it and turned it into a rent-making operation. The Joshua Tree is Joshua trees are a whole different deal. I didn't see those are strange. I didn't see any of those out at the Goldwater range. I didn't see any cactuses. many swirls, many Joshua trees, many of those little ones. You got a lot of little cactuses out there. But see, Rick Roberts, now for the price of a 15th of an iPhone, you could buy 15 of these for the price of an iPhone. You could have dropped one of these in Sedona, and you could be watching remotely every night. You can drop one of these over at Malibu, watch Malibu. You could drop one, um, I'm hoping, Catalina Islands. First, I'm going to test drive these and see if they work. If these work and I get an NVR system up and running, all of the instructions and the proof of concept on here of how to take one of these, how to get these on a computer, how to get OBS or a different system to do continuous recording. I want to talk to Ron Olch. I'm one of the biggest supporters of the UFO DAP there is. Say we need to get these things, and if they have a certain, there's an OVN, or OFI, and it's a streaming protocol, then he can get these to work. We can get UFO DAP expansion systems on these. Hey Jennifer, how you doing? Yeah, Jennifer. I was mentioning filming in high 8. I might go back to high 8. I remember you were using a JVC, or no, it was I think a Sony TR45 model. It's one of those old ones. I remember those. $99 trail camera, and you get a solar panel, and you can put next time you go up to Vernal, leave one of these on the tree. Now you got to leave it in a place that has cell phone connection, and then you can watch it remotely. That's the plan of the future of 4K Skywatching is expansion systems like that. We'll start with one if it goes. We'll have a permanent camera somewhere in Sedona, another one on the Superstitious Mountains, and yeah, 4K. Yeah, most of them stream in 2. Now this one streams in 2K. To tell you the truth, I plan on probably keeping this one. I'm hoping for. Now you got 30 days. If it doesn't work out, you can send the shit back to Amazon because we don't have mom and pop stores anymore. Those Star Wars binoculars that ate the SD card and 2 episodes back, those went back to Amazon. Jeff Bezos can have those fuckers back. But these I plan to keep. I'm hoping to keep these. If they work, then 4K. Yeah, they got 4K. So you got like 4K, 4G or 5G. Can they even stream that over, probably. I'm thinking because I think my phone, I think that streams 720p from the gunnery range. We're going to find out. That's what I'm doing. I got the resources. I got the money. I can buy this stuff. I can test it. If it works, keep it. If not, I can send it back to Amazon. But I'll get a system up and running, some instructions, because this is a huge, huge leap that we don't have to buy like a multi-$1,000 UFODAP system from Ron. We don't need big 400-watt solar panels. We don't need car batteries. We don't need big cameras. Now we just need little things like this that we can use to monitor the military, monitor and the aliens. It's time to turn the tables on. This really unlocks a lot of stuff. I mean, I was thinking about $150 a month Starlink bills, paying for Starlink hardware, installing all this shit. I mean, that would have been a $2,000 install. Here, $99. So it was a no-brainer to buy that. So that'll be running next Friday in some capacity on this. So that'll be up here. Hell, I might even run that out to Dan's place. Dan here, Arizona Motherload in the chat. He's building, I think, another house right out in the middle of BFE by the Superstitious Mountains. He won't even need that. He'll have nice cameras right out his porch and patio all plugged in. So cool. Yeah, that's $99, but you get what you pay for. That last Star Wars camera I had was $99, and that was a piece of shit. It felt like shit. It felt like fortune cookie build, whereas the Psionics has the hunter build, the gun. It feels like something that's a weapon, a firearm or something like that. Hey, yeah, if you're heading up to Vernal next month, we'll keep in touch. If this thing works out, take a $99 thing up there. But I remember Vernal doesn't have. Well, yeah, you can get them even cheaper. There were $40 and $50 ones on there. Well, let me let's bring that back up a sec before we tune out here. All right, so yeah, this is the one I ended up with. Uh, Now they have, you can see they have some other ones in the $250. Now some of these don't have a name, and it, like Real Link is a generic version, but they are out there competing with Dahoo and Lorex. But then you have some of them with no names at all. So yeah, I don't know. That might be a whole different thing. 99, 79, 59. So I don't know. 59, including an SD card. I mean, that's got to be. I mean, there's no way this doesn't come from China. Who the fuck makes any of this? So I have seen some 4K ones in here. Looking around, here's a 4K one. That's so yeah. So at least 2K. I won't mess with anything that's under 2K. And then some of these ones that don't have a pan and tilt, they're not motorized, so that can get around certain restrictions. To keep in mind where you put these. Friend of mine who was the advisor says don't fuck with the military. Says he finds these cameras all the from time to time where he lives, and they're squatch cams, and they leave them alone because they're hunting squatch. So a lot of times you can put like your name and your number because if a park ranger happens upon it, they're not going to mess with it. I think if you say your UFOs are animal watching, and if you're using these to hunt, that's a whole nother thing. It's a hunting season and whatnot. And as long as you don't leave them there forever, don't litter. Go there, use them up. Because I got into this thinking, well, you're going to use them up, and then the battery's going to die. And then when I thought, wait, solar and 4G, well, fuck, I'm so there. It's new toys to play with. So I'd like to have these at least some citywide views. So there's going to be a pretty big expansion of this coming up. There's so many places that you can put these. When I go out, I'm going to bring a 5-foot ladder with and put it on my back. I'm going to backpack in because this doesn't weigh shit. And then I'm going to put it up on a tree. And I'm going to put it up high enough that I'm 6'2", so this thing's going to go up 10 feet. So anybody walking around is not going to be able to reach up and steal it because he's going to be needing to walk around the forest with a ladder. Think ahead of him. Yeah, $99. I'll let you guys know if it's worth it or not. But we'll see. It could turn out to be shit. And with Skywatcher, I'm giving them a break, giving them some time to come up with footage. But January 1st, 2026, they better have some good shit. They better do what they say. They better have, they made some big claims that they're going to solve this by the end of the year. So at the end of the year, if they got nothing but balloon footage and strings, there's going to be some meth bombs coming out about that. I have some high hopes. I'm going to give them some time to hunt and reel in those fish. But if you're just building bullshit mountain, I'm here to break that one down. Yeah, and when you get that place up and running, you won't need a trail camera. You just need a regular day 4K camera going right out of there. Dan lives. He's one of our he's a geologist. And above you, Jennifer is also a geologist. Yeah, okay, Jennifer, $500 a month for Starlink. That's what I was thinking, right? And I was actually seriously thinking about that. We're talking $20 a month because you have to pay like AT&T cloud storage for unlimited data. I'm going to find out. We're going to have the answers of the next episode of 4K Skywatching. $20 a month. Oh, everything's from China. But see, it might go from $99 to $100. Depending on the prices. Yeah, they usually have I'm reading they have like a SIM card built in, Some of them have built-in SIM cards. Some have built-in SD storage. I don't know. They need their own. Well, some of you guys already are into this. All right, I'm going to wrap up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave with an outro video as soon as I find it. That's not it. And it's going to be, oh, here we go. Alrighty. 2 hours went by quick. Um, yeah, that's Starlink. Now we're talking mobile, man. We're talking $20. So that's a game changer. That's a game changer right there. So this was the 20th episode of 4K Skywatch, and one of them I accidentally deleted. So I don't know what happened to that one. We're going to be back next Friday. The focus is going to be on trail cameras and pushing these to the limit. This was barely legal skywatching of some of the best places you can skywatch, what you can and shouldn't do, and just giving you kind of a heads up. I'd probably go into jail first before you guys. So if I'm in jail, then watch out, because they're going to get me to send a message to go to you. But you only live once, right? They're not gonna put me in a solitary confinement because I was, got a trail camera, or I'm not supposed to be, because it's just gonna have the Barbara Streisand effect on that base. So this has been 4K Skywatching. I'm Tom King, um, and I love doing this shit. We're going to hopefully see all you guys. Thanks for watching. Jennifer's here. Arizona Mother, Dan. Eric was here. Um, Eric Roberts was here. God, Larry was here. We didn't see Uncle Dave this time. Truth Seeker was here. And it's been fun. I will see you guys next time.
Yo.
Hey, Uncle Dave did make it. I did see a black orb in the video, but it might be a bird on the power line. So it's somewhere in this video. Look, where a black thing shows up on that power line. I even have a 4K forward and dash camera in my car.